To start this video, let's play a game of 20 questions. The player that I'm thinking of has held 6 solo random C glitchless world records, is a Russian living in Germany, and has a subscriber emote that you can type in his chat for when he mutes his mic because his mom walked in. If you didn't guess that I'm talking about Dimeax, you most likely didn't read the title. In this video, I will take you through his Minecraft speedrunning career. Just sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, grab a blanket, grab some extra popcorn, grab a spoon, grab some ice cream. Alright, you get the point. Enjoy the video.
Dimeax, calm down.
I'm chilling, you know. I don't need to try hard.
Calm your ass, dude. There's no way you have pearls. I'm definitely not throwing.
I'm not either. But still.
Yeah, this bastion is not easy to get to. I don't. It's in a wall too. I'm not going for it.
When did you start playing Minecraft? So I believe on NameMC I remember that my account I bought in summer 2015, but before that I played on another account for like a year. So that means in like summer 2014 I bought Minecraft, which means about 7 years. Who was your biggest inspiration when you started speedrunning? I've discovered speedrunning or Minecraft speedruns being done in the German community first, just like Nice Twist. The same guys inspired me to speedrun. Their names were, or still are, Basti GHG or Basti GHG and Hawaii Walle. I think Basti is still like 30th on the SSG leaderboard in pre 1.9.
One thing to keep in mind is that all top speedrunners start somewhere.
But anyway, what was your first PB? I think it was a 55-minute time. I'm not sure about the time, around 55 minutes in 114 RSG, which I believe was the world record back then.
The first run that Dimeax submitted to the Minecraft speedrun leaderboards was a 54:52 1.14 RSG run. This run, submitted on January 22nd, 2020, would become the first world record under his belt. Keep in mind that when this run was submitted, only 16 other runs were on the leaderboards to contest it. Over the next few days, a player named Spirits of Millie would beat his world record by 5 minutes, but this was no challenge for Dimeax because 4 days later he got a time of 45 minutes and 42 seconds, reclaiming the title. 4 days after that run, on February 3rd, he would beat his time, getting the first ever sub 40 in 1.14. His time was 38 minutes and 53 seconds, and this world record would stick for 9 days. Over the next 2.5 months, he submitted no runs, but on April 15th, he submitted a time of 23 minutes and 28 seconds in the 10 plus player 1.14 runs category. It would be an understatement to say that the competition for this world record was fierce, but that would not stop him from getting another 10 plus player world record a few weeks later. Soon enough, Dimeax would return to 1.14 solo runs, and on May 30th, he submitted a time of 32 minutes and 47 seconds, placing him in 11th. Unfortunately, the world record was no longer free because the likes of Dimeax, Illumina, and some no-name you've probably never heard of were gunning for it. This was the last solo 1.14 RSG run that Dimeax submitted for a while, but on June 5th he teamed up with Hendrini and got a time of 22 minutes and 35 seconds in co-op, putting them in 2nd place. The reason that he stopped playing 1.14 is because something major happened in late June. 1.16 was released. Dimeax was one of the first people to grind the category, and it paid off. His first PB in 1.16 was 30 minutes and 10 seconds, but he quickly improved that to 24 minutes and 18 seconds on July 10th. Coincidentally, this would also be around the time that a certain massive content creator discovered his Twitch streams. That content creator is me. Well, that is true, but I'm not talking about myself in this case. I'm talking about Scissors. The Fortnite Death Run man himself was dabbling in a bit of Minecraft speedrunning when he was looking for someone to host. Eventually, he found Dimeax's stream and figured that hosting a 2nd place speedrunner would be cool. This host would lead to a friendship between the two that will become relevant in the story soon. Anyways, back to the runs, where after a month and a half of not improving his PB, he would reclaim his spot in the top 5 with a time of 21 minutes and 16 seconds. A bit under 2 weeks later, on August 28th, he achieved a time of 19 minutes and 37 seconds, which beat Scissors' world record by 4 seconds, making him number 1.
No. No way.
no way, I need to retime it.
There was something else that you should know that took place around this time though. A Polish runner named Odiz had presumably gotten a time of 18 minutes and 59 seconds on August 29th. This run was however rejected but not called fake. This decision from the mod team to reject Odiz's run caused some discussion on whether Dimeax's run was the actual world record. Fortunately, that discussion would not last for too long, because on September 19th, Dimeax would secure his name in every Minecraft speedrunning documentary by not only getting the first ever sub 19, but also sub 18. His time was 17 minutes and 26 seconds. Let's break down how he did this. He spawned in a forest biome near a village, and at that village he got a blacksmith chest with 7 iron. After crafting basic tools and grabbing food, he was in search of a lava pool. Unfortunately, the search would take him about 3 minutes. He entered the nether a bit before the 6-minute mark and spawned right next to a nether fortress. After collecting 7 blaze rods, it was time for him to test his luck with piglin trades. Fortunately for him, he found a ruin portal with 2 gold blocks, and since he got a lot of iron early in the run, he was able to take advantage of that. Out of the 18 gold ingots that he traded with the piglins, 2 of them gave him pearls. Now usually in this situation, the runner would start heading back to their nether portal, but there's something that I didn't mention about the ruin portal. The chest had 2 obsidian, making it completable. At the time, the only other way to blind travel in the nether was to get a bunch of obsidian from a blacksmith chest, so this situation was pretty unique. After entering the overworld at 12 minutes and 50 seconds, Dimeax threw an eye that led him into a forest biome. Not expecting much, but knowing that the stronghold could be close, he threw another eye about 40 seconds later, and it turned around.
What the fuck?
After a bit more triangulation, he was digging down, and unfortunately he missed the stronghold. Not to worry though, because after digging to the side a bit, he hit a ravine where he saw the stronghold and was able to locate the portal room about 10 seconds later. His end entry time was 15 minutes and 38 seconds, and after a little over a minute of waiting, the dragon perched.
Oh my god, I'm shaking so much, guys. Don't even know. No fucking way. I did not just do that. No.
Now that Dimeax had the 1.16 world record, he would start to grind a different category. You see, version 1.14 was calling his name, so he started grinding it. On September 25th, he submitted a time of 25 minutes and 36 seconds, which was a 7-minute improvement from his previous PB and put him at 13th place. The next run that he submitted to the leaderboards was a 1.16 duos run with Scissors. Their time was 24 minutes and 19 seconds, and it was a very respectable 3rd place on the leaderboards. Now would probably be a good time to explain why Scissors plays such a big role in the rise of Dimeax. You would probably think that Dimeax blew up after getting his revolutionary 1.16 world record, but you would be wrong. Prior to that run, Scissors hosted Dimeax on Twitch for thousands of viewers very often, which gave him a lot of exposure. Not only that, but the two played together a ton. Even though they only submitted 1 duos run, Dimeax probably became the 2nd most typed name in Scissors chat behind Scissors himself. Unfortunately, he doesn't speedrun Minecraft anymore, but his hosts gave Dimeax's stream the boost that it needed to get Twitch partner on October 7th, 2020. Anyways, back to solo 1.14 runs, where Dimeax was on the hunt for PBs. The next one that he would get would come on October 27th, and his time was 24 minutes and 20 seconds, putting him back in 13th place. Unfortunately, due to exams, he was very inactive during the month of November, but when that was over, he just picked up right where he left off. On December 16th, he improved his 1.14 PB to 23 minutes and 47 seconds, placing him 1 spot below his last 2 PBs at 14th place. 12 days later, he managed to shave a little bit of time off of his PB again, and by a little bit of time, I mean that he got the first ever sub 20 in the category. If you aren't convinced that Dimeax is built differently yet, you will be after I break down the run. He spawned in a spruce forest, and after getting some wood, he set sail. On his journey, he encountered a shipwreck that had 5 emeralds and 8 iron. Once he crafted iron tools, he found a desert village which he used to get food and beds. Eventually, he found a lava pool and was in the nether at just under 5 minutes. One other thing to note is that the lava pool is 1000 blocks away from spawn, meaning that the stronghold could be close. Unfortunately, his nether was awful because instead of spawning in front of the blaze spawner, he spawned somewhere on top of the fortress. The blaze spawner didn't take him too long to find despite his disgusting, cringeworthy nether spawn. After getting 8 raws, he walked light years back to his nether portal portal and was out of the nether at low 8 minutes. After running a bit in the desert, he saw two things that told him that this run could potentially be very good. The first one is obviously the desert temple, because that is where he can get TNT to blow some stuff up. The second one is the dark oak forest, which he can use that TNT on in order to get enough logs to trade for pearls. After getting the TNT, he blew up some trees, and at about the 12.5 minute mark, he was on his way back to the village that he passed earlier. One thing to know about trading with villagers to get ender pearls is that 1/3 of the time they will give you glass bottles instead of pearls. Unless you find out how to craft a glass bottle of ender, that trade means that the run is dead. Luckily, he got ender pearls and a whole lot of them. He was off to the stronghold at mid 15 minutes, and the stronghold was quite close since he was very far away from spawn. After some triangulation, he was digging down at low 17 minutes and entered the stronghold at mid 17 minutes. After 25 seconds of routing, he located the portal room and was in the end at 18:06 real time. Keep in mind that at this stage his in-game time was about 40 seconds faster than his real time. After bowing the towers in the end, the dragon purged at 19 minutes and 50 seconds in real time, and I'll let you take a guess as to what happens next.
Oh my god, this is sub 20. This is sub 20. That's sub 20. That's sub 20. That's sub 20. Oh my god. Oh my. Which run are you most proud of? I'm still thinking either my sub 18 116 run or my sub 20 114 run. But I feel like my 116 run I didn't play out very well, and in 1.14 I broke a barrier that so many runners were going for, so probably my 114 sub 20.
Just like that, history had been made. Dimeax broke the once thought to be impossible 20-minute barrier in version 1.14. One cool fact about this run is that to this day it is 4th place on the leaderboards and the fastest 1.14 classic strats run ever. Essentially what classic strats are is when you blow up trees with TNT to get pearls. The current world record that is held by Doi Pingu utilizes pirate strats. That is when you take a villager from a coastal village and get the necessary items to trade from monuments and shipwrecks. There are also Insomniac strats, but I'm not going to get into that. If you're interested in learning about it, I suggest watching Corbano's video explaining it. Anyways, back to the runs. Over the next few weeks, he would submit a few co-op 1.16 runs, but one of those runs stood out from the bunch. If you watch my documentary about Nice Twice, you might know what I'm talking about. On January 23rd, 2021, Dimeax, Nice Twice, and Minecraft teamed up to complete a random seed in the fastest time ever up to that point. It took them only 12 minutes and 46 seconds from loading into the world to beating the Ender Dragon. I won't break down this run, but if you want to see it broken down, head to this timestamp in my Nice Twice video. After this, things would start to slow down for Dimeax. It had been multiple months since he'd PB'd in 1.16, and with people constantly getting faster and faster times, his once thought to be unbeatable 17:26 time merely became a drop in the bucket. That is until April 10th, 2021, when after 7 brutal months of not improving his PB, he managed to bring it down to 15 minutes and 7 seconds. Let's break down this run. He spawned on a coast near Savannah Village and gathered food and wood. Next, he went to a nearby shipwreck that had 16 iron ingots and crafted iron tools. Luckily, a magma ravine was nearby, so he was able to enter the nether at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Upon entry into the nether, he didn't see any structures immediately, but by E-raying, he saw that there were 2 of them nearby. Essentially what E-raying does is it shows you the amount of entities in a certain area, dependent on your render distance. If the E number on the right is higher than the M and the C numbers added together, that means that there's at least one bastion. From there, if you set the entity distance to 500 and FOV to 30, you can pinpoint the exact angle of the bastion because the E number on the left will spike. If you're interested in learning about why this works, I will link a video in the description. Anyways, now that he located where the bastions were, it was time for Dimeax to find one of them. He entered a housing bastion at 4 minutes, and after getting all the necessary items, he was in search for a fortress at 7.5 minutes. Since he was pretty far out already, he decided to go extra regional to find a fortress. Extra regional just means that he ventured outside of the 4 quadrants. After a bit of traveling, he managed to find the fortress, and after getting all of his blaze rods, he blind traveled in the second stronghold ring by 10 minutes and 30 seconds. The The stronghold was only a few hundred blocks away and he was routing it at the low 13-minute mark. It took him a bit to find the portal room, and when he did, he entered the end at low 14 minutes. After a minute, the dragon perched, and 6 beds later, he had broken the curse and set a new PB. When his run gets verified, it will be placed somewhere in the top 35. Before this video ends, I'm gonna read a short list. Illumina, Real Benex, Corbanos, Kuriwe, Doi Pingu, and Dimeax. All of those players have one thing in common. They are the only 6 to have ever held a world record in 2 highly contested solo randomC glitchless categories. Not only has Dimeax gotten world records in 1.14 and 1.16, but the records that he got broke minute barriers that were once believed to be impossible. Even though Dimeax plays less than other top runners due to school, he still managed to prove himself as one of the best speedrunners to ever touch the game. Not only is he one of the best, but he is arguably one of the most critical runners. If he makes a mistake, he will point out that mistake and improve upon it. His mindset to always do better has pushed him this far, so who knows what he will be able to do in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, and to conclude it, here are a few of his words.
When you started speedrunning Minecraft, did you ever expect yourself to be in the position you are at right now? So the reason I started speedrunning was because back then world records were basically free because speedruns weren't popular, and yeah, I always aimed, like at the very beginning I aimed for records, but then the 1.14 category became popular with Illumina, Dream and Benex. They had this rivalry, so I didn't think about coming back to speedrunning at all, and I never expected to beat the record again, and since then I did it three more times, and yeah, I did not expect that, but I'm happy with how it turned out.